Archaeologists have discovered a huge ancient city hidden underground in Mexico, which may give a better understanding of the Maya civilization.
It would accommodate thousands, if not 10,000s of people.
Only remains and mysteries remain after the Maya civilization vanished. The truth about their origins has been uncovered by a groundbreaking DNA test, and it is far worse than we could have ever imagined. In a closed space, scientists were taken aback by the remnants they found. Their DNA has an inconceivable gene sequence that completely alters the course of human history. It is already acknowledged as the revelation of a sinister secret rather than just a novel discovery. This finding implies that the Maya were associated with something amazing and unconventional. However, when scientists pursued that link farther into the bush, they discovered something hidden that eluded comprehension. What was it?
New forms of artwork, we see writing.
Writing is a huge development in any civilization, in any era of the world.
Anomaly of obsidian, one of the most amazing archaeological discoveries ever made, is located deep in Guatemala's Patán Basin, one of the most crowded and uncharted areas in the whole Mayan world is the Patán Basin. A research team carried out an incredibly thorough repair. It's a project in the area that uses ground-penetrating radar on the ruined temples. Foundations in the enormous metropolis of El Mirador. The apparatus detected something that is utterly unbelievable. More than 40 feet below the pyramid's base was a geometric, perfectly circular vacuum. Although circles are prevalent in nature, fully circular shapes are incredibly rare and have drawn the attention of scholars from the outset. First of all, the team had good grounds to think there was a cave there. But once digs started, the rock the team found did not appear to be precisely what they were searching for. The rock's sides were remarkably smooth, carved with the accuracy of extremely sophisticated technology and cemented with a hard substance that was even more durable than the toughest cement currently in use, let alone the crude materials the Mayans had initially utilized to construct their buildings. The rock type itself was thoroughly examined by the team's geologists, who searched for rock formations that in some way did not correspond with any local natural occurrences. The discovery of a sealed gateway made up of a single, enormous block of limestone rock that was roughly the size of the aperture itself came next. There were carvings on the surface of the rock, but they had nothing in common with Mayan carvings. Some of the sculptures seemed pre-Olmec, while the others were entirely unidentified. The engravings also appeared to be covered in some kind of dust, which may have been caused by mineral buildup, disuse, or something entirely different. The scientists also observed that, despite the likely metal deposits in the rock itself working against the scan procedure, the rock produced extremely odd signals on the magnetic scans. The team was able to penetrate the slab following these days of meticulous planning. An explosion of compressed air revealed a circular space that was 23 feet across. The dark, glass-like substance that lined the room resembled obsidian, but it had an absorptive characteristic similar to ebony rather than reflecting the light from their lamps. The room was completely silent, and the air was far colder than it was in the jungle. The area was filled with jade jewelry, metallic discs, and crystal shards placed in pleasant reclining positions. The three elderly bodies were seated on three pedestals with their legs crossed. At first glance, the majority of visitors were unaware of the preservation's excellence, despite being in the tropics and having humidity levels that made it decomposable. The site remained intact. Additionally, the air within appeared unaffected, maintaining its steady temperature, which was several degrees colder than the outside temperature. The people themselves, however, presented the greatest challenge. Their long cranium was noted, but it paled in comparison to the Maya's practice of head binding. The research also made it evident that the bone density was a sign of genetic adaptation rather than artificial adaptation. Even more astounding was the carbon dating. It's revealed that the organic fibers in the burial chamber are roughly 12,400 years old. The implications were astounding. Both the people and the burial chamber were considerably older than the Maya, having existed before the Americas' history was even written down. When these structures were directly compared to those of other pre-Columbian societies, nothing even remotely comparable was found in terms of their degree of development. The discovery of the remains alone was enough to change the course of history, but the lab's subsequent work will be even more significant. Early DNA research revealed that the body contained haplogroup A to mitochondrial DNA, which is typical of Native American groups. The first thought was that the samples must be tainted, but deep sequencing revealed something that could not be. Explained, parts of the DNA did not match the human data on file. All three people, however, followed the same path. It was long thought that the sequence was junk DNA because it was located in non-coding regions of the genome. Then there was the mathematically precise patterning motif that was completely unrelated to random variation. The sequence showed that the pattern's recurrence ratio was almost exactly the same as that of the Fibonacci series when the pattern was laid out. They had found a code buried deep within a 12,400-year-old DNA molecule, which made this impossible. The phenomena, which included both human and non-human sequences, as well as everything in between, is given the name sequence X473. The genetic code that was found, however, was more than just a distant pattern. Although the sequence was the same, the discovery's context was entirely different. Indeed, the scope was wide. The group's geneticists carried out extensive comparisons with the sequence of modern human DNA, observing that the ancient society's genetic composition had evolved in ways that, if present in modern human DNA, would undoubtedly lead to thousands of years of evolutionary adaptation over time. The found DNA sequence's mathematical accuracy revealed previously undiscovered levels of genetic engineering expertise. The archaeologists quickly realized that the subsequent Squiote discovery contradicted the existing body of knowledge regarding the evolution of humans throughout the Americas, the growth of their different civilizations, or the technologies employed. The ensuing discovery has provoked heated discussion throughout the global scientific community. Proposed hypotheses include the possibility that the existing find points towards the possible forms or structures left from the possible existence of some unknown advanced civilization existing before the formation of any other type of civilization within the Americas. On the other side of the table, others presented alternative theories, such as an unknown process or event occurred leading to the existing genetic material being conserved. However, the degree of engineering involved in the room's construction and the mathematical accuracy with which the sequence appears rendered these, shall we say, remote possibilities, just that, remote possibilities, with discoveries about advanced civilizations that existed before recorded time. The historic discovery's outcome has put its own researchers on the cutting edge of the future, opening their own portals into the study of human discovery. The more the researchers discover about the location and its occupants, the more they are forced to reconsider our preconceived notions about the development of American civilization and human history. However, an even stranger discovery that defied science itself surfaced just as they believed they had reached the boundaries of the past. Could this completely alter our understanding of the genesis of humans? Sequence X473, it quickly turned into a disturbing revelation. Researchers discovered something amazing: live genetic material. Not just remnants of ancient DNA. The remarkable characteristics of these strange DNA strands, which were identified by the name sequence X473 and had delicate bioorganic properties, required confirmation by another university. The samples exhibited the bioluminescent feature when exposed to ultraviolet light, emitting wavelengths similar to those of deep-sea organisms. Two important questions were raised by an odd incident. What was the relationship between the luminous characteristics of deep-sea animals and the human remains found inside the rainforest cave? All DNA databases across the globe were thoroughly searched, but no match was found with any extinct or living species. Although the design was straightforward, the job of verification clearly indicated the occurrence of hybridization. When scientists examining the excavation site captured larger images of the hieroglyphics on the chamber's entrance door, a breakthrough was made. The researchers in the genetics lab were startled to see that the base pairs, minute pattern precisely matched the hieroglyphics written on the stone entry door after receiving an email with the spirals and star formations. This clearly involved design, and there was much more to come. The ramifications of this are astounding. The fundamentals of genetic engineering were understood by the room's creators 12,000 years ago. They had already been successful in integrating their religious symbols into the racial biology. A well-known geneticist had put out a theory that was so cutting-edge that it was categorized as soon as it was developed. It was intended to be a sophisticated method of data storage, defying all traditional genetics classification schemes. Rather, the DNA served as a biological hard drive, including information in parts of the genetic material that were previously thought to be non-biological. These sections of the DNA revealed recurrent numerical constants that precisely matched the astronomical ratio between Venus and Earth's orbits. That is, the ratio of Earth to the Sun when converted for binary interpretation. This made a whole different paradigm possible. The chamber was an archive room rather than an answering ledger. And its occupants were not human. Rather, they were only containers that carried the mysteries of the cosmos within their DNA. Even more anomalies were found in the skeletal system after additional research. These people had lived in a location with significant oxygen levels, which had not happened in the region for more than 10,000 years, according to the calcium isotopic ratio. But there were still a lot of unanswered issues regarding these mysterious beings. Were these individuals members of an unidentified branch of the human family? Before the Mayans, some lost line. The actual response was stranger than that. More than 3 individuals who lived 12,000 years ago have the genetic abnormality known as sequence X473. Genetic experts found the undeniable connection in the last incredible examination, which involved a last comparison with current populations. This sequence was still present in today's human populations, but it was dormant. The discovery sparked a heated discussion among scientists. Scholars started wondering about the likelihood that this far-off civilization possessed knowledge beyond simple celestial observation. Even more so than some biotechnology, the accuracy of genetic engineering might readily illustrate its advanced level of quantum physics capabilities. The room's layout, which included precisely matched celestial bodies with geometric forms like DNA, provided additional hints. I believe that some really important questions concerning human development have been raised, including the possibility that ancient civilizations possess technology comparable to our own. However, as geneticists began to identify the characteristics of sequence X473, it became apparent that the sequence was somewhat different in isolated civilizations all over the world. It illustrates the global impact of the sequence X473, which casts doubt on accepted theories about human migration and cultural evolution because they believed that there had to be some sort of knowledge evidence for human collaboration or the science of genetics itself. Archaeologists all over the world started to doubt the interpretations of the archaeological discoveries from earlier human cultures. In the end, one thing becomes undeniably clear: the story of humanity is far from complete. What began as a routine excavation in the silent depths of a forgotten jungle has now erupted into one of the greatest scientific controversies of our time. The discovery of sequence X473, the impossible architecture, the encoded celestial mathematics, the bioluminescent DNA, and the link to civilizations long erased from history. All of it forces us to confront a truth we were never prepared for. If a code exists within our very genes, if a message has been carried silently for over 12,400 years? If ancient beings once walked this earth with knowledge so advanced that it challenges our understanding of biology, physics, and civilization itself, then we must ask, what else is hidden beneath the surface of our past? How much of our history has yet to be uncovered, or worse, has been deliberately buried? For centuries, human origins have been explained through fragments, broken bones, fading murals, crumbling temples. But these discoveries suggest something far more complex, a blueprint left behind by minds far older, far wiser, and far more advanced than any civilization we've ever known. Were they guardians of knowledge? Survivors of an older world, or travelers from a place we still cannot comprehend? One thing is certain: the chamber in the Patton Basin was never meant to be found easily. It was sealed, preserved, and encoded with precision that defies time itself. And now, after thousands of years of silence, we have opened the door. But perhaps, just perhaps, some doors were never meant to be opened, as scientists race to decode the remaining fragments of sequence X473, as archaeologists return to the jungle searching for more hidden structures, and as the world begins to question everything it thought it knew. One chilling truth lingers in the air: this was only the beginning. The discovery at El Mirador has shattered the boundaries of archaeology, genetics, and human history. But the ultimate question remains: if the past held such unimaginable power, what does the future hold once we fully understand it? Stay with us, because the next chapter of this mystery may be the most shocking one yet.